Well, hello everybody. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Car Chronicles. However, I'm sitting in my office. I recorded a whole video in the car and accidentally deleted the entire video. So you guys get to join me in the office. You guys ready? Let's do this. The most powerful weapon against a narcissist is, y'all ready? Cutting off the main fuel supply. Cutting off fuel. Have you ever watched an oil rig in the middle of the ocean? The way that they have to cut off, so, stop the fire, stop whatever, which is complicated because I don't know all the details about oil rigs or, out there in the water. You have to cut off you have to shut off the fuel supply. You have to shut the fuel, whatever the fuel valve, you have to shut it off. Aircrafts stay in the air because of many things. But if it loses fuel, guess what happens to the aircraft? It's coming out of the sky. Have you ever ran out of gas in your car? Car just cut off? Trying to figure out what's wrong with your car. It's a brand new car. I can't believe my car just cut off. And you look, there's no gas. Car won't even start. You ever been mowing the lawn and lawnmower cut off? Can't figure out what's going on. You look, there's no gas in it. Yeah. When you cut off the fuel, the narcissist shuts down. Now, is there fight back? Let's talk about it. Cutting off fuel from a narcissist is like taking the oxygen away from a person. You ever seen any kind of living creature in the water that doesn't belong in the water drowning? They're fighting for their life to get air. You're going to fight for your life to get air. You're going to grab whatever's around you, whatever you can to get air. You're going to fight for air. A narcissist is going to fight for fuel. Many people assume that a narcissist is addicted to supply, addicted to people. They're not addicted to people. They're not addicted to supply. They're addicted to the fuel. They need it because it's a necessary part of their life. That's why you have primary source supply, which can be a lover, fiance, husband, wife, or a child, a sibling, a parent, whatever it is that is in their close proximity that they get the majority of their fuel from. You give them a stable home, give them a car, you give them the appearance of family, you give them the appearance of togetherness, whatever. They look good. You have the wifely or husbandly duties. That you are the primary source of supply. That whenever they are leaking out, whenever they can't get fuel from other places, they're always going to come. And the main supply, the primary supply, is the most abused supply. You are the primary fuel pump. You are the Chevron gas station. The secondary supply, which could be a side chick, a side dude, anybody that takes that secondary place when the primary is not there. It's like being connected to an oxygen tank, and then you have to be mobile and move around with the mobile oxygen tank on the wheels, So they're going to get secondary sources of supply, and they're going to get fuel. They have to have fuel wherever they go. Tertiary, the third, which does not ever become primary. These are the people at the gas stations that say hello, good morning, the coffee shop. Hey, oh, that's your daughter, that's your son. Oh my gosh, you look so great. Thank you so much. You're at the red light, somebody gets mad at you and they throw you the finger, or the narcissist. That is that third supply. That does not become primary supply. So they have to, which is where they get the fuel from. They have to have fuel. Now I'm gonna tell you, the way that you handle that narcissist is shutting off the major fuel supply from any part of your life. I'll give you a prime example. Many of you go into the courtroom and you don't realize that in the court here in the state of Washington, they call it abusive litigation. They use abusive litigation. That's a term that's used in the state of Washington. In each state, there's a different terminology that is used for abusive litigation. Is when they take you to court and they may file some kind of grievance or file something in this court in this county, then they'll turn around to file another one in another county, knowing that you won't make it and then you're not aware of it. Or they may do things like tell the judge that you're crazy, you have mental issues, you're bipolar, you're schizophrenic, your mood is all over the place, you have mood dysregulation, you have chemical imbalances, you're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict, you're whatever. And they tell the court, hey, I need to make sure that they get a complete evaluation because I don't think they're fit to be a parent. They may even call Child Protective Services back to back. Now, judges, when you learn to be quiet, and just deal with your lawyer, understanding that your lawyer is not a therapist. Legal system is not meant to deal with your emotions. It's meant to deal with facts. And the narcissist knows, because a narcissist is a narcissist, but each narcissist is different. You got different socioeconomic statuses, you have different levels of intelligence, you have different ways of doing things. They may be different people, so some of the things that they do may be done at a different level because they calibrate to you. But they're still a narcissist. They still use the exact same strategies, right? And when you talk too much and you're constantly trying to defend yourself, you will run out of money. That's the first thing you'll do. Number two, then they take everything into the court and they fight within the court system to still maintain control over you. They tell the judge what they want them to do, that the children need to be pulled. And if you learn to be quiet and depend on your lawyer, the legal advocate, whoever you have that is fighting for you or fighting on your behalf, you learn, hey, they're going to use abusive litigation or whatever the term is in your state, and I need protection from abusive litigation. Then they're aware of the fact that they're just going to try to play the game in the courtroom. And judges will pick up on the fact that they keep on asking, they're crazy, they're this, that. They'll pick up on it. Trust me. Judges will pick up on it. Lawyers will pick up on it if you stop fighting. But when there are two people fighting back and forth, and you got this paperwork coming in, and you're trying to defend yourself, and that's not true, and that's why and that's why this, and they're accusing you of this, and you're turning around accusing. Lawyers don't want to have anything to do with that. That's why lawyers and judges, they'll make judgments, and it's against everything that you've ever wanted because of the fact that you're fighting back and forth. When you just have to learn to be quiet. You have to learn to deal with your lawyer, and it's fact-based. And a narcissist knows that they can get you all out of character, all out of emotions. You're going to argue and fight back and forth. And what's going to happen? They're going to take the facts of what they see and use it against you in a court system. And sometimes you have to learn. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be offensive to many of you people, and I understand that, but I'm going to tell it like it is. Now, I'm an old soldier, retired soldier, and we just say it like it is. We're going to say it like it is. You ready? Sometimes you have to learn to shut your face. Shut up. Stop talking so much. You are so accustomed to being in a battle situation with that narcissist that every time you open up your mouth, you expose your location. In wartime, we learn radio silence. We learn silence, light discipline. Shut your mouth. Stop making a bunch of noise. Watch out. When we smoke cigarettes, back in the day when I used to smoke cigarettes, you have to cover up the top of the cigarette, the bottom of the cigarette, because your hand glows. Or really, you just don't need to smoke out there anyway, because your hand will glow. And if they're looking through NVGs, they can see your glowing hand. They can see the cigarette, or even when you cover it up, they can see your hand glowing at night. So you have to learn to use radio silence. Now, one thing that they're going to do, just like a person that is drowning, that is fighting for their air, fighting for their breath, fighting to survive, a narcissist, once you cut off that supply, that fuel, once you cut that fuel off, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. And a lot of times they'll fight themselves in a position where they expose their position. In the military, you want an enemy to expose their position so you know where to fire. And everything you do has to be strategized, has to be very strategic, because a narcissist is very strategic. You have to think the art of warfare. You have to think of the game of chess. Everything that narcissist does is not an accident that it happened. Is well thought out. It's not an accident. Everything that they do is not an accident. Everything has an ulterior motive, and everything is thought out. It's very strategic, and you have to be just as strategic. Even when you're talking to them, you have to learn radio silence. Stop telling everything, because they need to locate where you are. They need to locate how you feel, and the more you talk, the more you tell them, and the more you expose your position. In the military, we never want to expose our positions, because you're hidden and camouflaged in the woods, and you're hidden. Sometimes the enemy will run right by you and don't even know that you're right there, and now you have them in what's called the kill zone. And what you do with a narcissist is you learn to be quiet and stop reacting out of your emotions. Some of you are entirely too emotional. You react out of your emotions, and you're exposing your hidden place of camouflage. You want them to act a fool. I don't care what grade of narcissist they are, high to low. You shut down that fuel supply, and it causes them to just react. It causes them to expose themselves, and that's when you got them. That's when you target them. And that's why you have to have people like advocates and coaches. You have to have lawyers in place that understand. You have to have a network, and you have to listen. Stop talking so much and listen more. Join me, overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia. You got to be there July